Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Random Talks, where we talk about everything random that you like so that you can practice your listening skills. As usual, I'm Teacher David. It's so nice to be back here with you and with my lovely co host, Teacher Carlos.
Hello
Hello.
guys. How's it going?
And really good. Thanks for asking. And Teacher April.
Hi, everybody. I'm here today. Hi.
It's so nice to be all of us together again.
I know. I
Family.
miss it.
Yes.
Like the real family that we are.
Yeah. It felt like a long time.
Yeah, I know. And well, in this episode, we're going to talk about especially something for people who want to get into teaching, and that is the CELTA course. And today we have a CELTA graduate, Katia Flores, with us today. Hello, hello, Katia.
Hi everyone. It's nice to be here.
Thank you for being here and to take a couple of your time to talk about CELTA.
No, thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, before we start, don't forget to take a look at Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. Where else can they find us, guys? I always forget.
YouTube, TikTok with Teacher Pablo. Also, as you mentioned, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts as well, where you can find every episode by name, and also, you can shuffle them and listen to any of them and leave them on repeat if you want to help us somehow, right? That'll be awesome, right?
Yes, that would be very, very nice.
There you go.
So I want to first ask you, Katia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, what do you do?
Yes, totally. So right now I am an English teacher. And what I'm doing specifically right now is helping a kid with his online curriculum. So kids are, because of COVID, they're taking lessons from home. And what I'm doing is just provide assistance, be on the kid's side when he's taking his lessons and speak in English with him all the time. So that's what I do right now. But like before, I did have some teaching experience in classrooms before COVID. And I taught English in a classroom to junior high school students. So ages around 12 to 15 approx. That was before taking the CELTA course.
And I'm going to be that person. What is CELTA?
Yeah, so CELTA is a very recognized certification for English teachers. It's given by Cambridge University, and it basically stands for Certificate of English Teachers, Certificate for English Teaching to Speakers of Other Languages.
Okay.
Sounds nice. Sounds fancy.
Yes. That's the feel.
Yeah, it sounds like something that you want in your CV,
Totally. I think that a lot of people are attracted to it because of that. Like it really helps with your curriculum, and it's a little bit more recognized than TEFL. Even though TEFL is also a good certificate, this one is supposed to be a little bit harder. So it kind of adds the plus to your CV.
Yeah, I think because you can work like internationally now with this one. So I think that's one of the main advantages that this course has. And actually at the beginning, I thought it was like a test.
Me too. Like us.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
actually.
right. Because if we think like Cambridge, oh, they all tests, but actually nope. and it's a pretty hard one, like rigorous one. With a lot of procedures, which is something that I would like you, Katia, to walk us through. Like, what is a typical day in CELTA, especially now online?
So now that it's all online, you're going to learn how to give lessons online. So you're going to be using a lot of Zoom, and a typical day starts. Well, our schedule was from 12 noon all the way till 8 p.m. And we always started with lessons about teaching, teaching techniques, teaching methodologies. And then at the end, you usually have one short period where you can teach a lesson yourself, or you see one of your peers teaching a lesson. So it's basically learn and then practice in one day.
Ooh, so it's like observing classes and also being observed while teaching.
Yes, totally both.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I kind of, that's the part that really gets me like kind of nervous, right? Like as somebody else watching your class is like very different, considering the fact that you are like concentrated into what you're doing, right? So in that case, I think it's just considering that maybe something else, right?
I kind of had the opposite reaction because I've always been curious of how everyone else gives their classes compared to how I teach my classes. It's like whenever we have, like, we talk about something like situations out of the classroom, like, oh, this happened to me the other day and I did this, and then you get the other person saying, oh, I would have done this, and I'm like, I wish I could be in those classrooms looking at what they're doing and, you know, gathering all of these tools, right? Opening your spectrum to different ways to solve an issue.
Yeah, actually, that's like really, it adds a lot to your own practice, because at the end of the day, you don't realize of some things that other people may notice in your practice, right? While you're teaching.
Oh, that too.
So of course, if you get, of course, constructive comments about what you do and how do you do it, it's in order to improve. And I think you need to be like very resilient into regarding how you take those comments, or how do you take what you are told to improve your practice. So I think it's interesting.
Yes, and is there something else, Katia, like that, or only like take lessons and then give the lessons? Is there something like in between those steps in CELTA?
Something in between.
Like, is it like only the day and you teach and that's over, or do you need to like work on something else?
Well, you do have some deliverables that you need to finish before the course ends, and it's like arrange one deliverable every week. So you need to work on a paper assignment, and what they do is, because it's Cambridge and it's pretty strict and they don't usually give very good grades, they allow you to resubmit. So you have the chance to make one deliverable and you submit it, and then the teacher gives you back some comments, and then you can add the comments, change some things, and deliver again. So it's hard, but it's also designed so that you can make mistakes and then correct those mistakes so that you can pass. So it's quite friendly, even though it's a lot of information, it's quite friendly, the methodology they implement when it comes to deliverables. And if you do follow all of your teacher's comments, there's no way that you can fail. And you also can look for them in your free time or their free time to maybe see some matter that you don't understand pretty well. You can have a video call with them.
It sounds pretty nice.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
I thought it was going to be scary mostly, right?
I think the scary part is before, you know, like the unknown, like going into the unknown.
Why did you do this, David?
Yeah.
I want to sing.
For me, at least for me, that's it. Like, I don't know what I'm going to, so that's what I'm like a chihuahua, like.
But that's the thrill of it. I mean, that's part of it. I'm sorry if you hear a little bark over there. My dog one is like there. Hold on, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be right back. Sorry, guys.
Okay, David, you put me on the spot with that phrase. I do not appreciate you right now. I cannot sing those notes. If you got the reference, guys, into the unknown.
Yeah, but I mean, did you have any problems like this, Katia, like where you were scare that you didn't know where or what you were going to encounter in the course?
I mean, of course, like before enrolling, I was very determined because I had my path already visualized. Like, okay, I'm going to be an English teacher, and this is the best course for English teaching on my CV. So, like, I definitely want to do it. I was very motivated. So that's something that you really need if you're taking the CELTA summer intensive. You need to be motivated. And what happened was, I kind of didn't know how hard it was going to be. So you do need some time, or I do recommend some time to prepare on special points so that you can have a better performance during the course. So like I kind of underestimated how hard and difficult, not difficult, but more like your time is not enough in the day to complete all of the assignments and things you have to do.
Oh my.
I kind of take hints of you being a perfectionist, Katia. Am I right?
Yeah, that's an issue because I was so perfectionist with my presentations that it was taking me a lot of time. And in the end, I was having like 3 hours of sleep just to make my presentations very perfect. But in the end, like you realize it doesn't matter, like presentations and how they look, it's not something they evaluate. They do, but it's not the main point when it comes to your overall grade. So like you need to know on what sort of things you need to spend your time on to make the best of the course.
Yeah, and now that you're talking about like the presentation and the slides and everything, is there something that you would recommend or some tips that you would give to people who want to take CELTA and not die while doing it?
Yes, I do have some tips. First, I do recommend you to have some experience. If you don't, you just need a very strong desire to teach. And if you haven't taught before, you need to maybe watch some videos of experienced teachers so that you know how it's done. So be familiarized with it. And also to be familiarized with the language analysis. Like you do need to know the principal parts of speech, grammar, syntax, like adjectives, adverbs. Why are they different? What's possessive? What's prepositions? What's verb tenses? So you need to teach them. You're not in the course to learn them. So that's one more thing. And also to have fun. Like I said, it's going to be hard and you're going to try to be perfectionist, but at the end of the day, you just need to focus on being better than yesterday so that teachers can see that you're improving each day.
Oh, I love that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I got teared eye.
I think it's important to consider whenever you are transitioning from a student to a teacher that we kind of have to relearn things in a way, right? You have to relearn the topic or recheck it, and somehow you try to do it the way that you learn it too, right? And try to find a way and perfection it somehow. So in this case, I think it's pretty good. I always tell my students, they know how to use, I don't know, present tenses, simple, continuous, or perfect. They know how they look. They know how to use them, but they don't remember the little name, the little tag, you know, like perfect tense. This is present perfect. So I always try to help them associate that, because you never know. I'm training a teacher, a future teacher, or something like that. So that's what I try to do. And now that we know that's orientated to you, so you need to have experience to actually take this course, and probably it'll be a nice, you know, addition overall to your CV. It sounds great.
Yeah, it is. I think, and it's fun because when you're teaching, like the practice teaching, it happened to me that sometimes I said, okay, I need to do this, and this. These are the tutor's comment, and I must not do this. And then when you get to the actual teaching, like it's like poof, like you forget everything. And and then you are like trying to learn again. So I think that this was the fun element of the course, because you could learn from your mistakes and also from things that the other people did, or some things that you said, oh, this could have been done differently, or things like that. So I think that's a great thing about CELTA. I don't know if you have something else, Katia, about CELTA, something that you would like to share about it.
Yeah, sorry if you hear some noise. I think someone turned on the vacuum, so it's pretty loud.
It happens.
Something else, if you are not very good at doing presentations, I really like this site that helps you to prepare very eye-pleasing looks in presentation. It's called Canva. I'm not
Yes,
promoting
girl. Yes, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very good. And for teaching is perfect because it has
Yes.
a presentation view where you can see your notes. And what really helped me, if you're taking the CELTA online, please do it. Like, it's the best thing you can do, is prepare your script. So like David said, sometimes you forget when you're teaching, but if you have a script prepared with like the main points that you need to cover in each slide, you won't forget. So like open up the presentation view and have your script on the side. That's really helpful. It does help for when you're teaching online. Of course, you cannot do that when you're teaching in a real classroom, right?
Yeah.
But online you can read your notes.
Yeah. For that, from back in the day when I remember I did presentations in an actual classroom, like it feels so far away right now. But a little tip on how to like take the bullet points to a presentation when you don't have the notes. I used to prepare my bullet points like in notes by hand, and in my presentation I would add a little icon that could have helped me remember that. Like, I don't know, if I had to if maybe you're teaching the grammar and you have like the formula and then an example, and I needed to do anything else, I would add a little icon like the WhatsApp icon, or I don't know, that was related somehow to that other bullet point that I couldn't actually write on the screen, that was only for me. So that was like a little, I guess that's a little tip you could try out. And I think also being a perfectionist myself, because it takes one to know one, right? That's like a little thing that would help me feel that I had it and everything under control, right? Like, follow the script as closely as possible without having the script right there physically with you.
That's a great tip.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It is, definitely is.
I'm gonna use it for my classes actually.
I have a question for Katia, of course. I want you to think into like retrospective, right? So whenever you were a teacher before CELTA and now that you are already a graduate, right? So what differences can you spot in your teaching before and after?
Wow, it's so many. Because when I was a teacher before CELTA, I didn't receive a training. So I was basically just teaching without knowing how to teach.
Yeah, fake it until you make it, basically.
Yeah. And when I enrolled in the CELTA, I was amazed by the amount of mistakes that I did while I was a teacher before. So I basically changed a lot of things. And I think one of the most noticeable one was when you're teaching certain, I don't know, grammar tense or a new word, you need to focus on putting in context and just teaching the meaning of that context, and not like all of its possible context or ways of using the phrase or tense or word, whatever you're doing as a target language. And also another thing is, well, this is not mainly reflected on my teaching, but for me to know all of the teaching acronyms and teaching words, like the technical words, is better because I know what to search for in Google if I want to learn more about something or look for something to work on. It's easier to see like, okay, target language or language analysis, examples, or I don't know.
Yeah, teacher language.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think just one last question before we wrap this up is, what is next for you now that you have taken CELTA? How do you feel about going into the real world and be a CELTA teacher, a CELTA graduate?
Well, I think that the most valuable thing that you can get from the CELTA course is confidence, because you see yourself teaching every day and you see your peers teaching every day, and you get very good insights on what to do, what works, what does not work. So it gives you that confidence to really say, like, I can go into a classroom and teach, and it's not going to be perfect, but I know how to evaluate myself and what's wrong, what do I have to improve on. So I think that's one of the best things of the course. And another good thing is that you end up with a lot of resources and valuable techniques. Maybe you don't have the chance to apply a lot of the techniques they say in the lessons, because you have very few teaching practices, but you can apply them in your, if you teach in your classrooms. And another thing is to watch observations of other teachers, experienced teachers online. So like keep learning about what other teachers are doing. So right now it's very easy to go to YouTube and see lessons from other teachers and look how they're explaining the stuff and just gather what you need, you think it's good.
Yeah, I think that's completely valid. I mean, some people may think that, how could you be copying somebody? But at the end of the day, it's like taking the best out of everyone, right? And at the end of the day, you create your own way of teaching by looking at others. So that's pretty interesting. I think it's really important to consider now, guys. I think it's a pivotal point from now on if you're considering to improve your teaching skills and everything, right? It's a good idea to take a CELTA. I'm considering it, definitely.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's really motivating as well. So it's a really good experience. So thank you, Katia, so much for your time. Thank you for talking a little bit about your experience in CELTA to motivate different teachers or different people who want to take it and to be better in teaching. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me, guys. And whenever you want, I can come here and talk about anything.
Yeah, please.
Awesome. That's great
That would be
news.
great.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Katia, really.
Yeah, and we'll be in touch. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget to check out our content on every social media. So where can they find us, Teacher April?
Okay, my turn now. So you can watch us and listen to us on YouTube and Facebook. We upload the full episodes in those platforms. We also have different type of content on Instagram, on TikTok too, with Teacher Pablo. He makes great small short videos with very, very useful tips and tricks. And if you can only listen to us, we have our social media platforms, on Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. You can find us as Columbus School BCS.
There you go. Sharing is caring, guys. So please, we would appreciate it a lot. We always read your comments, and also you can be part of this someday by either giving recommendations or even being in the episode. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. So it was so nice to be again with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yes, as
Thank
always. It's a pleasure.
All right. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.